Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi,
Welcome back to Voices
Lilian.
of Courage Asia.
Again, have you taken your lunch?
Again, not yet.
Me too. Today, yeah, haven't taken my lunch too. Yeah, how
Right.
about you out there, audience? Are you taking your lunch? If you do, yes, thank you for tuning in and have your lunch with us, spending this lunchtime with us. Today, we have a very interesting topic, right? Yes, welcome once again, women of Voices of Courage Asia. Today, we are very excited that we have um, a youth again with us going to share a very interesting topic, which both Lillian and myself were discussing just now. That a topic that we don't really know also.
Yeah.
How does anorexia shape women's identity in Singapore society? Because
Mm.
even for myself, it's like I just chanced upon this research that Lillian was sharing. You know, this research done by this youth, her finding is very interesting. And Lillian, how about you?
Yeah. I think first of all, you want to, for those who are new to our channel, do you want to like introduce what this channel is all about?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Some of them may be new.
Yeah. You're very
Okay,
excited about the topic.
because yes, I'm so excited to know deeper about this topic because, like I said, it's really something new. Yes,
Yeah.
for those who are with us new, first time, we are we are sharing about the inspiration, life story, and practical strategies that can empower you to live a life of courage and significance. We, both of us, Lillian and myself, we have co-founded Class Living, which is a social enterprise and Women of Courage Asia, a women community where we contribute back to the community through our monthly empowerment meeting. Some of you may have attended every last Tuesday of the month. We are giving ourselves a little break in this December. Join us back in January, where
Yeah.
Lillian and myself, both of us, will actually kickstart,
Yeah.
our
We'll kickstart.
sharing. Yes,
Yes, we'll kickstart
2021.
2021. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
And this is a Courage to Be You series, um, because I'm a parenting education coach. So we have a mini series called No Parenting, No Perfect Child. So to help parents out there to understand your children in different area, different aspect of their life, all the way from preschool. And now we are into our tertiary, the teens, the youth series. So
Yeah.
today is a very interesting topic that I can't wait to hear.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you, Brenda. Thanks. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's a very interesting topic. And today's special guest is someone that is very, very close to my heart. Yeah. She's none other than my daughter, actually. Right. I'm going to bring her on right now. Claudia,
Yes.
welcome on
Welcome,
board.
Claudia. Yes. Welcome,
Right.
Claudia. Yeah.
Yeah. Claudia is actually studying anthropology. So maybe, Claudia, you want to give a very quick introduction of yourself? Yeah,
Hi.
that caught you by surprise, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I
Must
was
be.
not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
Um, I just graduated from School of the Arts Singapore. I've been studying anthropology for 2 years, and it's something that I'm very interested in because I, I plan to study psychology in
Mm,
university, and
mm,
anorexia was something that I wanted to talk about because, you know, in
yeah.
anthropology we study issues in society such as this one.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
anthropology has brought you to actually look in a lot of different topics that are actually pretty much very sensitive, right? So we are
Yeah.
very curious because as adults, as parents, um, this is one of the topic that we really have very little knowledge about and awareness about. And I'm glad that you did this research. So what actually caused you to want to pick this topic as for your research papers? Because it's, I mean, you don't have this condition, and but why did you choose this topic?
Mainly because I was doing some readings for anthropology and I stumbled upon it, and then I realized that it's not really talked about much in Singapore, but it's something that is very prevalent. You know, um, it's something that anybody can easily get. So I thought it was interesting to talk about it and create awareness through writing a paper and help myself understand it through writing the paper.
Right. How long did you spend researching on this topic? And how
And
two?
writing
Just
the
now you mentioned
paper,
like 2 years, is it?
yeah, I've been studying anthro for 2 years, but
Mm.
I took 1 year to finish writing this paper and do
Right.
all of my research. And yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I know you've been putting a lot of effort into this paper, into this research, and the results, the findings that you have from this paper is really very valuable. And I mean, after reading your paper, I was like, whoa, I didn't know that. There's so many things that I didn't know and couldn't understand actually. Yeah. So we're going to, you will be the expert here for us parents, in sharing a glimpse of, your findings in your research.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So anyway, what is anorexia in a
uh,
a brief
Nutshell,
description?
or yeah.
Hmm.
I have a very chim answer to that question, which is in my paper, but if I break it down, it's basically
Yeah.
a disorder. It's a disorder that stems from a distracting and dominating like psychosocial need, which is which externalized to the body. So you can see the changes taking place from the physical material
Right.
body, but it all stems from the mind.
So the root of this condition actually trace back all the way to the mind, the mindset,
Well,
the belief.
not
Oh,
exactly, because if you're talking about an individual, yes, but the what is the construct of anorexia? I think what I found is that anorexia is the disorder itself is a social construct. And by that I mean it happens because of what is going around and how people interact with each other within society.
okay. So, well, okay. There is a more complex and a complicated definition of it. That means it actually involves many layers. So
Mm.
therefore, there's a lot of misconception. There's a lot of ignorance. That's why we also didn't know much about it. Yeah, until I
Mm.
read your papers,
Yeah.
right? So share with us a little bit, just a little bit. In your findings of your research papers, right? What are some of the factors that you discover that's contributing to this condition in the context of Singapore? I understand your research is in the context of Singapore, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a glimpse of it.
So basically, through my research and findings, I have discovered there are mainly five factors, that
Mm.
comes with anorexia, being such that it shapes identity, it becomes an identity,
Oh,
and it helps one materialize their identity.
okay.
Yeah.
So out of those factors, right? Which one speak out to you or jump out to you most that caught your attention?
So in my paper, one of the points is about the medical standpoint, in which the medical institutions and doctors and everyone that studies medicine and neuroscience and all this kind of stuff, they
Mm.
project a sort of ascribed identity and image onto these people, onto the patients themselves. So in which
Mm.
that can have a lot of repercussions, and you know they might think that they're helping, but in reality, it could be making it worse, because all of these different experiences, they are truly lived experiences by people with anorexia, and the way that they, handle it and the way that they suffer from it is also different. So,
Mm-hmm.
from a medical institution's point of view, that it's very it's very objective. It's very by the
Okay.
book, you know. There's a standard procedure, but because everybody is so different and their reasons for having anorexia and developing anorexia in the first place is so different, which you also can read about in my paper, there is no specific procedure that can really solve the problem. I personally believe, you know. So it's a very individualized process, which the medical institutions can have trouble, you know, navigating.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
So
my
they
really
become
sounds very chim. Really sounds very chim.
yeah, but they become a subject of study.
yes,
Right? Am I hearing
they do.
correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So
I think that's
in anthropological terms, it's commodification and essentialization. Those are the terms that we use, that we study.
Okay. More
So
chim now.
it's basically being reduced to something, you know, losing that personhood.
mm,
Yeah. So you're seen as a specific something. You're classified and identified based on that one thing.
I become a specimen.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
Mm, wow.
Interesting.
I think
Wow.
Because not
that's
only are
really
they
sad.
yeah, not only are they getting treated a specific way, they could also be seen as something to, you know, because you know, science and
Mm.
medicine, people are always trying to find out more, and
Mm,
Yes.
everyone is so different in this world now. So
Yes.
they can see them as something that would help them with understanding the disorder more and understanding people more. And through that process, they might, you know, unconsciously make them feel like they are just something to be studied and no longer a person. So
mm,
their identity is their disorder in a way.
right. So in your research papers, right, and I know you have case studies. You did a lot of case studies, and even have a real life sample, right? I mean, interview
Mm.
someone that you interviewed, someone that is going through or have gone through that
Mm.
condition. So did she identify? Did she identify with your findings? I know she read your. Was she the one who she read your papers? Did she, or it
Uh,
was
she
another person that read your papers?
uh, she did read my paper, but there was someone else who also read my paper from uh, actually I shouldn't say where from, but
Mm,
she identified with it. She realized that um, through all my findings and all my research and all the different analysis and anthropological perspectives, it makes a lot of sense, and she can identify with it, and she, you know, she sees the experiences that other people go through, and she can relate. And she says
mm,
it makes a lot of sense, especially in this Singaporean
Mm.
society, because there are certain aspects that make Singapore so unique and makes the experiences of the women in Singapore very different from people around the world.
mm.
Mm.
Wow. Brenda, you're deep in thoughts right
Yeah,
now.
yes. It's something very chim, and I there's something that really opened my eyes. Okay, so Claudia, because I'm a parenting coach, so today, if I'm a parent, I have to come with the from the point of view from as a parent, right? So as a parent, if I you know that my child may be battling with this condition, then how as a parent can support our children or our child?
Mm.
I
I
mean,
think,
I'm asking from as a parent point of view. Yeah.
Mm,
yeah, for sure. I think, firstly, right, it's more about the prevention and having a
Prevention.
very strong um, parental teaching of what they should and should not believe in, because an anorexia is something that's a societal construct. So the worldview is very important. But
mm,
you know, like, you know, anorexia is not something that um, comes out of nowhere, and it's something that you can't you, you know, parents can't really come from a external point of view, in which the child itself, she's going through something and
mhm,
she may not want to talk about it, you know.
mhm,
And when she does, if she does eventually end up developing this disorder, parents, there's no specific answer of how a parent should support their child, because the reason for developing it in the first place is so different from everyone. So I feel like the only way to support the child is just to be there for her, you know.
Okay. Wow, that's very important. Just to be there with her, with him or her. It's also not restricted to whether a son or a daughter. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
this
not
condition, is
restricted by
it?
No.
gender,
Yeah. Is there
but
a
it's mainly more prevalent in women, and
okay?
that's why my research paper is based around women.
Okay. Okay. Why I'm
Okay.
asking that, because I have 2 sons and 1 daughter, so the possibility for son is higher.
But
Okay.
your children are so big already, they are all adults.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm thinking from a perspective of a parent, is it? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah.
So it's
Claudia,
very
you wanted to
different.
say something? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, even though my paper is centered around women, because of how I study anthropology, we must not, erase the experiences and, see men differently, because everyone is human, everyone's a person, everyone goes
Okay.
through different experiences. So it's
Mm.
even though it's not very common in men, it shouldn't be seen as something that, it heavily stigmatize it, because
Mm,
they can easily experience something like this also.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's a topic that not very commonly talked
No,
about.
it's not common at all. Yes.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Hmm. And do you what are your thoughts that why isn't it talked about?
It's a very touchy subject because there's just so many different contributing factors, firstly, and
Mm,
you know, disorders in itself, anything, mental illnesses, mental health, even though in this day and age it's becoming more and more like a subject that people talk about more, anorexia,
mm,
it's very personalized,
mm,
and so people don't want to, like, I believe people don't want to, unconsciously offend anyone, and also because anorexia comes with a lot of um, cultural um, cultural origins.
mm-hmm,
It's very heavily influenced by culture, and that's not something that can be easily looked
yeah,
past also,
yeah.
because
It's
you can really talk back through generations and through
mm,
traditions and stuff like this, and these are all factors that may allow someone to eventually develop anorexia, in which you can read more in my paper.
Mm.
yeah, it's something that's so ingrained. It has a long history to it, right? And it's like you
Yeah,
mentioned, culture, traditions, and all that. These are things that you cannot just change and overnight. Yeah,
Yep.
it
yeah.
takes
Mm.
years and generations to like renew that mindset. Yeah, so
So
there
why
are
Singapore is so
like
unique.
yeah, just like
And
we talk about mental health and all that. It also took a while. It took quite a long time to actually create that for people who took the courage to step forward to share and create that awareness. Reduce the stigmatization of this topic. Then more
yes.
and more people start to talk about it, and then we are able to address the issues that contributed, the factors that contributed to this condition. So anorexia is one of those
Yes.
conditions that more awareness should be created.
And I think it really takes someone like Claudia to bother to take the time and interested to find research about this topic and willing to share her research, willing to even share her finding so that people are more aware, right?
Mm,
Yeah. Otherwise, really, even like it's something that is even like wellness, all these mental illness. Yeah, not everybody really, like what we mentioned, may want to talk about it, but it really takes somebody that willing to share about it. Yeah, their finding, or some of them will experience it. Yeah.
mm.
Oh,
Yeah, just
Vivian, you have any
Claudia.
other question? Mm.
Yeah, one more question, a very important question. just now you mentioned about the identity, like, because okay, I have the privilege of reading her research papers. So there's one part where you mentioned about identity. Can you like maybe elaborate a little bit about the identity of the from the findings, and also your personal view on about identity? So starting from the findings that you get from your research paper about the identity, and then you move on to your own personal view about identity.
Because my paper is centered on women, it really stems back to feminine identity, a gender identity, and that and how one materializes that gender identity can be affected by other forms of identity. How, like, for example, their socio-economic identity, and these things I do mention in my research. And aside from that, there's also something that I found out through writing this paper, in which is that anorexia itself can be seen as a form of materializing self-identity, in which
Wow.
they use it as agency. It's basically agency. It's reclaiming their body, controlling what goes in and out. So they see it as a form of power and resistance against society.
Wow.
So I thought that was very interesting as I was writing about it and analyzing it. So yeah, but personally, right, because obviously I have, gone through these factors as well, but not to the point of actually developing the disorder, you know. So it's very difficult to talk about in terms of like different opinions around anorexia and identity. So for me, I feel like it's a bit contradictory to talk about, because before writing the paper, I did feel a sense of pity in a way, because nobody wants to see another person go through a disorder. Otherwise, it would be a very cruel world. But after writing the paper and after going through all the research and interviews and stuff like that, you really feel for them a lot more. So that sense of pity becomes a lot stronger. But at the same time, it's so, I don't want to use the word pity, because they themselves are still people. So you don't want to, like, I don't want to say that we look down on them or like anything. We don't stigmatize them. But
Yeah,
you
no
just
stigmatizing.
feel, no stigmatization, no judgment whatsoever, because everyone's so unique. But like the emotions that you feel for them is just so amplified in very different aspects, because in one hand you realize that they see it as a form of like success and a reason, like a purpose in life, a purpose for life, in
Wow.
which I did talk about in my paper also. So in that way, you're like, wow, it's so empowering, and you find it hard to feel bad about getting a disorder. But at the same time, like through my research and through my findings, my interviews, and I realized that so many people have such negative experiences with anorexia based on how other people see them and how they slowly develop it in the first place. So in that aspect, you feel a lot more of those like negative and heart-wrenching emotions. So there's two different sides.
Yeah, I think it's wow, it's a very contradicting thought here. Like on one hand, because it is an unhealthy method, like you, or the word that you use, agency, to express yourself, whether be in your self-control, your power, your identity. But yet on the other hand, it empowers them to be so self-disciplined. And they are getting the results that they want. Like, I mean, personally for me, I can't refrain from the self-control part here is challenging, because I can't stop myself from, the temptation of Milo. And yeah, so yeah, it's like I understand where you come from by saying that it's sad, but yet
There's some
it's
achievement, right? Isn't it? Right. Like some
yeah.
discipline achievement. Yeah.
It's literally one entire point in my paper, and it's it's very interesting. It's not something that I would have thought of if I didn't
Mm.
like should I not have written this paper at all. So in that sense, writing the paper made me learn a lot also.
Mm. But how about yourself, Claudia? Like, what keeps your what's how do you view your identity? You know, like how do you not? Yeah, what's your thoughts about your identity?
For me personally, it's very based around God and religion. So through that, I find who I am as a person and what's my purpose in living life. And it's very focused around, having a relationship with God and knowing who exactly I am to Him, being a child
Mm.
of God and being someone that is dear and beloved.
Mm.
So that's how I ground myself.
Right. Wow.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, I think
Thank.
it's for those of us who I mean in Singapore there's always different faith and different religions. So with all due respect, but if you are of the same faith, and you know that it's very important to be grounded, in a relationship with God. And I think that reminds me of yeah, upcoming Christmas, and the season of Christmas. Yeah, Christmas for us who are Christians, it is a celebration of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so yeah, that is the reason we celebrate Christmas.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
and
always say
having
that, right? Christ is the reason for the
for the
season,
season. Yeah,
and
and yeah,
it's really about love, peace, and joy,
mm,
right? Yeah, that's why we
yes.
always sing. Everyone, even whether you are a Christian or not, we always sing the same song, right? Joy to the world. So it's really to
Yes,
bring
yes.
joy, to bring peace and love to every
Mm,
household, every individual one of us.
mm.
Yeah.
I think in the world
So,
of psychology, I mean,
mm,
I'm not like expert in that, but with the study that I gone through, I also understand that a spiritual component is also one of the areas that will support the healing process of anyone who is going through mental struggles and all that.
yeah,
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 so not only behavior, emotional, so as social support and spiritual support, spiritual component is also one of the factor,
yes,
right,
yes,
Claudia?
definitely.
Yeah, in Andrew we call it belief and knowledge. It's a component
Ah,
of belief and knowledge.
Belief and knowledge.
belief and
Yeah,
knowledge.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
yeah. Which relates
Yeah.
back to culture also.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay. So
it's
are you
very hard to explain, but yeah, it's there.
okay, so you are excited about proceeding to study more in the area of psychology
Yes, I am.
and more research. You're going to do more research, right?
Yes, and
Yeah,
we look forward to hearing from you more, your research in whatever area that you are interested to find out more. Uh, yeah, just blown our mind. Okay, just blown our mind.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, thank you for taking the availing yourself. I know you have somewhere else to go. Yeah, you
thank you
have a
for
lot
your
of
precious
appointments.
time. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for setting aside this time to share, to let us have a glimpse into your research finding as well as this very sensitive topic about anorexia, especially in the context of Singapore. I hope you will bring more awareness, create more awareness, and that more research can be done into this area so that a solution, hopefully a solution. Yeah, there's some
And
comments here.
yes, yes. Let's
Yeah,
take a look at the comments. Some of them, yeah,
yes,
Anita, good
Auntie Anita
afternoon.
and Kira, Auntie
Kira, yeah.
Kira.
And we have support from Shu Hui, Rachel.
Yes,
Well
our
done,
CPL,
Claudia.
Auntie Shu
Yeah.
Hui. Right. Okay, so
Yes.
if you have any questions, yeah, if you missed this live, feel free to watch the replay. And you have any questions for Claudia, just key into the comment, and we will direct the questions to her so that she can share. She can hopefully she can share a bit more light on this topic.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So Auntie Kira got one more thing to say. No, this is Christian. Yeah. Thanks for the wonderful sharing, Claudia.
Well done. Yes, indeed. Yes, if out there you just managed to tune in, no worry. We have replay in our Facebook chat and then our Facebook group. And any questions, just feel free. And also, if you have a need to have coaching for your family with regards to parenting or any education for your children, click this link. It's in the Facebook page. As for your life coaching, anything that is pertaining to your thoughts, your mental, or anything that you want to have a chat with Lillian, click on this link. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's all for this session. Tonight we are having a webinar, right? Sari Marsden. No, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night,
Tomorrow
18th.
night.
Yes, tomorrow
Oh,
night.
time
Yes.
flies. Yeah, tomorrow night
It's
we
on the
have
18th.
a live webinar. So Sari Marsden, our community partner, she's a performance coach. She'll also be sharing more into from fitting in to fit to lead.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
So
link is in the Facebook page.
in our Women of Courage Facebook page as well as
So
Class
show the
Living
Women of
Facebook
Courage.
page.
Yeah.
Women of Courage.
Yes, you
Yes.
can click this link and then check it out. And yes, register yourself to join us tomorrow evening with Sari.
Yeah.
And last but not least, our next Tuesday, 12:30 is our last session for this mini series, No Parenting, No Perfect Child.
Yeah.
But of course, after that, you continue to join us. We have other series coming out.
Yeah, I haven't finished my Courage to Be You series.
Yeah.
This is an insertion of No Parenting,
Yes.
No Perfect Child. Yeah. Thank you so much, Brenda, for leading this segment. Yeah.
That is my privilege.
Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you, Claudia. I know you gotta go, so we'll see you again. We'll see you again on Tuesday, next Tuesday.
See every one of you next Tuesday. Next Thursday
Okay.
is Christmas Eve. We'll take a break, but we'll see you next Tuesday.
Right.
Okay.